right, pop quiz. What do the locations of Rapid City, South Dakota, Jackson, Mississippi, and Salisbury, Maryland have in common? Stumped? They are all cities for which meteorologist John Conway has forecasted the weather.
And John is the new meteorologist you've probably seen and will see on WBOC. Welcome to the family.
Thank you so much. Great to be here. Having a great time so far. Meeting all many great people across Delmarva. It's been a great time.
Super.
Okay, so South Dakota, Mississippi, Maryland, those must be really different areas to do the weather.
Very, very different areas. The climate's totally different. Western South Dakota, it's a drier climate, kind of windy. You're dealing with a lot of wind-driven snow in the wintertime. Mississippi, again, it was just central Mississippi. We had to deal with severe weather, tornadoes, 44 tornadoes in a day that happened. You have 4 tornadoes, and then you have tropical season, which never ends, down off the Gulf of Mexico. And here on Delmarva, much windier, overall a little cooler, a lot of influence from not just the Atlantic Ocean, but the Chesapeake Bay. So this is much more of a coastal climate to forecast for. So very, very diverse areas I've been to.
Now, do you like the challenge? I mean, I know a lot of meteorologists come here and they discover that little bit of challenge you have with the bay and the ocean. Do you like that?
Yes, it really tests your basic skills for forecasting. And every place I've been to, it's a different skill set you have to develop. And every little skill set you develop for forecasting weather just makes you a better meteorologist and better at communicating not just the good weather, but the hazards folks may face when bad weather starts rolling through town.
Sure.
Yeah. How did you become passionate about the weather?
This is something you're probably going to hear from every meteorologist either you've ever spoken to or ever will. I knew when I was a little boy, I loved the weather, and I always wanted to be a TV weatherman. Now, my life took me on a little bit of a roundabout way to get here, but I knew when I was a kid, I was fascinated by thunderstorms, blizzards, hurricanes. This is what I wanted to do with my life.
All right, so you mentioned your life. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Stratford, Connecticut, so not too far away. You know, here, northeast United States, near the Atlantic coast. So this is actually a little more familiar of a part of the country for me. So I bring at least that little bit of experience with me.
Sure. Can we talk about that roundabout?
Sure.
Tell me, what's the roundabout about going on?
Well, when I first went to college, I went to St. Olaf College in Minnesota, and I got my first college degree in Chinese language and history. And after I finished that degree, I moved to Asia, lived in South Korea for 2 years, and then moved to China and lived there for 5 years, where I met my wife, had an absolute fantastic time, really enjoyed being there, but decided that the weather was calling me back. That was what I was meant to do.
That's fascinating.
It was a lot.
Yeah. So what do you think of Delmarva so far, just the area in general?
It's what I've really found about it, we were talking about this before, the people here have been very welcoming. Everywhere I've been, you know, anyone who's recognized me is like, oh, hey, welcome to the coast, welcome to Delmarva, you're gonna have a great time here. And so far, I really, really have.
That's awesome. So, fun fact for our viewers, this is actually, not your first experience on this here couch. Right, John?
Right.
So, we need you to tell the story of why you have already experienced this couch.
Well, the other night I had to work 2 back-to-back shifts. I had to work an evening shift followed by a morning shift. So there are only a couple of hours in between, so I got to get a little bit of sleep in there, got to get my beauty rest. So kind of laid out on this couch. It's much more comfortable than it looks.
It is very comfortable.
We're so glad.
You're welcome to use our couch anytime, and you're welcome to sit on it as we're doing the show as well. So we're going to press pause on this interview for a few moments and learn some more fun facts and have a little bit of fun with John. That's coming up.
We're spending some time today getting to know WBOC meteorologist John Conway. Now, fun fact about John, it is not just the weather in which he is well educated. Of course, you mentioned you met your wife in China, and you can speak Chinese.
I can speak Chinese, yes.
I mean, that's just incredible.
It's actually a long story of how I got into it. When I first went to college, of course, you have to study a foreign language, and my foreign language was going to be Japanese, because I had taken a basic Japanese course, but I couldn't get into it because it was full. The only course that was available was basic Chinese. I had no interest in Chinese. I knew nothing about China. Took the course, fell in love with it.
Really?
And ended up getting my degree in it.
That's amazing. It seems like a hard language to learn.
That's what I thought it would be. I found it not quite that difficult. You know, Japanese I found much more difficult. Even Italian and German I find much more difficult than Chinese. It's a very different language, but not that hard once you get the basics.
Ooh, so how hard is it to teach? Can you teach us something in Chinese?
Well, I could teach you the basic, how to say hello to someone, which is ni hao.
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
Ni hao.
Yeah, ni hao. Goodbye is 再见.
Huh?
再见.
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 How is that spelled?
In
Yeah.
it's
Right.
Z-A-I-J-I-A-N. 再见.
Okay.
It literally means again, see.
Oh,
See you again.
okay.
It's literally what the meaning
That
is.
makes sense.
Wow. How would you say, I love living here in Salisbury?
我很喜欢在 Salisbury 住.
All right.
我很喜欢住在 Salisbury.
So you really could be in China and have regular conversations, like you're that good.
Yeah, I lived there for 5 years. 1 year in Zhejiang province and 4 years in Shanghai, which is the biggest city in China.
Yeah, a little less populated here in Delmarva.
Yeah, a little more breathing space
Yeah.
here. That was one of the more difficult things to get used to.
Really?
Not just in China, but in East Asia in general. There are just so many more people. Just the scale of the population is so much bigger. For example, I lived in a city called Jinhua. Most folks have never heard of it. Even on a Chinese map, it's barely a little dot. It's the size of Los Angeles.
Wow.
It's a big city.
That's
If you dropped
good
New
night.
York into into China, it would barely show up on the map.
That's incredible.
So that's one of the more difficult things to get used to there. A lot more people. It's much more crowded, but a very safe place. I mean, it was always, as long as you take basic safety, you know, don't show a whole lot of money or anything. It was a very safe place to live.
And another fun fact about you is that you have a license plate collection.
I do. This is another one of these things I've loved ever since I was a kid. I don't know if it was just the different colors or just the number sequences, but when I was a little boy, that's how I recognized folks on the road. I knew that everyone's license plates, all of my family, all of my friends, and my collection is based on places I have a connection to. So, you know, some folks, they want to collect plates from every single state, or in a state, they want to collect every single type of license plate. For me, I like to collect license plates from places where I have a connection to, a place where I've lived, a place where I've worked, a place where I have family connections. And that's the basis for my license plate collection. And I have plates all the way from my birthplace, which was actually down in Florida, that's where I was born, all the way to China. I have license plates from there too.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Well, we are so pleased to have you with us on the team here.
It's great to be
at
here.
WBOC.
And when can we see you on the air?
My regular shift is Saturday and Sunday evenings.
Okay.
But you'll also see me filling in for Mike and Dan during the week every now and then.
That's
All right,
wonderful.
awesome.
Well, welcome.
Thank you
And
so
thank you
much.
for coming into Historic Studio D and hanging out on the couch when you're not sleeping.
Exactly.
Great to be here, great to spend some time here.
Stayed well awake.
Yeah.